Red Zone.
There, double crashing the cymbal. I guess I'm back for this will be my last session, and the reason I'm back is I said I would be if I had some exciting news to tell you, which I do. Some great news on my CFL Red Zone Bowl, and I'm going to talk about what happened at the Grey Cup game. Sorry, did I say Grey Cup game? I already told you that. Sorry. The Touchdown Atlantic announcement at Rogers Square in Halifax on January 23rd. There. Brain's kicking in there. So, I want to get into it right away. Okay, this is, I don't have anything written down or anything that I'm going to cover. It's just going to come off my tongue. So, and you see wearing my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule hat and my SPYDER glasses that I wore when I did my long edition of my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule song. You can find up on my Facebook page that I did a video on too, the long version of that rule. And there's a short version also on my Facebook page as well. So the reason I'm back, and I wasn't planning on being back because I said I was coming back in the spring, you know, early spring. I'm back now because of some good news I got to tell you. I'm about to tell you my CFL Red Zone Rule. But before I tell you the exciting news, I always keep you in suspense here. I'm going to get into what happened at the Touchdown Atlantic announcement at Rogers Square, where I was there. At Rogers Square, where the SPYDER was there. I had my brochures. I forgot to bring a brochure on set here. So I had my brochures, sorry, and I had myself, and I was wearing my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule hat, this one here, and my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule glasses to match. And I gave out a few brochures. I listened. I was very respectful. I listened. Kicker for Saskatchewan Roughriders, Lothar, was there. He said he would up on the podium, and he said he could fill the place because there's only going to be 10,000 seats, and we're going to talk about that in a second at SMU. And there's only like 2,500 seats there now because the old stadium, like I told you before, was torn down. So he was there, and I happened to speak to him because he knows my cousin, Randy Kroll. He plays hockey with in Truro because he's from Truro. Randy Kroll played for St. Mary's Huskies hockey team. He tried out for Edmonton Oilers when Wayne Gretzky was there. Anyway, so I had my brochures there, and I gave him a brochure. And my cousin filled them in on my CFL Red Zone Bowl. And by the way, I was totally right about this, that it was going to be in Halifax Touchdown Atlantic, and I knew, and I can't tell you why because I'll get in trouble, but I knew it was going to be in SMU. I knew all of it. I knew all of it well ahead of it. I could have announced it. I announced it a day before or two before, but I could have announced it 10 days before that. But I'm not going to tell you how I knew that. I'm trying to find something here in the brochure, and I guess it's having a hard time loading it. So I'm trying to load more because I don't have my brochure in my hand. I wanted to show you, okay? But it's up on... We didn't even put it up on our Facebook page yet either, on my Facebook page as well, so I'm messing up here. I'm sorry, people. I should have had there are brochures. I can show you on here. Oh, just my luck. Anyway, while this is happening, I gave a brochure to the kicker, Saskatchewan Roughrider kicker, Lothar, who played for St. Mary's, by the way, and he's from Truro, so it looks like it's having problems. The internet's been lately bad. Anyway, he saw my brochure before. I gave him a brochure, and I happened to give a brochure to the CEO of Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mr. Reynolds. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I did that. I'm so excited about that I did. There it is. There's a brochure, but it's going to be hard to see with all this light here, all this bad lighting in here. That's the front page, and here's the back page. There, quite colorful. You can find it on my Facebook page. It's too bad I didn't have it in my hand, but anyway. So yeah, I gave a few to him. One to give to the quarterback, Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback, Fajardo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They'll kill me if I'm not. Saskatchewan Roughriders fans. Fajardo. I think that's it. I'm not even pronouncing it right, I don't think. Anyway, and also, you're not going to believe who else I give my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule brochure to. You're not going to believe who. Okay? You know how big it was at the Grey Cup, the 100th Grey Cup in Calgary. I gave it to Bo Levi Mitchell. That was a big highlight, and I did a special edition on that. And then one on SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule in a nutshell. That was my long version of a nutshell. I can't tell you, but I've since come up with something even more compact. It's going to be on the bottom of my brochure. I think I might have mentioned that. But that's going to be a while yet before I get those brochures, and probably a month before I get it up my Facebook page. But guess who I got my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule brochure to? You're not going to believe who. At Touchdown Atlantic at the Rogers Square in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Okay? SMU and Argonaut. Imagine that. At SMU, which I knew. Another rhyme. At St. Mary's. Yeah, they're only going to put 10 temporary seats in, but anyway, 10,000 temporary seats. But guess who I got it to? My idol. Pinball Clemens. Pinball Clemens. Imagine. And I got three of them too. Gave him 3. He was really interested. I told him that I met him at the last Touchdown Atlantic. My son and I and him had a picture within the Daily News when there was newspapers that full page. I still have it. I wish I would have dug it out. I would have showed it to you. Maybe I'll do that in May when I come back, because Touchdown Atlantic's not July 25th. So maybe I'll do that in May. I'll show you that. Okay? I think I kept a copy of that when there were newspapers. Okay? But anyway, I thought that was spectacular, and he's such a gentleman, and he was really interested. And I didn't fill him in. I just detailed him a little bit. I just said I want him to have this brochure. Same with Mr. Reynolds. They're going to find out all about it. Everything's there in the brochure where they can get into it all and find out all about it. But you know, that's pretty exciting, I think. And he's a gentleman, really is. And I gave a few to Saskatchewan Roughrider fans that were there too. There weren't very many people there. Truly, it was well done. They used the Rogers Square. They used all the monitors and everything. It was really, really well done. It was well marketed, and it was a good job. And give Mr. Ambrosi credit where credit's due. And that's what I'm going to do in 2020. I mean, because of what happened, my CFL Red Zone Rule, I didn't think it was, I don't want to really get into it. I explained that all before. I don't want to really bring that into this new session here in 2020, because that was the past. We're moving on in the future. Like I said in my last session, I believe, I just want to be more positive. I want to give Randy Ambrosi as well. I mean, he's our commissioner. I mean, we all have our opinion. I have my opinion, and I don't hold grudges either. I never did in my life, and I wasn't overly sold on CFL 2.0, and a lot of CFL fans weren't and everything. But give him credit where credit's due, and he's selling it still, and he's doing a fairly good job trying to sell it, and the features and benefits of it and the advantages, and we'll see how it plays out, and see how it works out. Like I do a spade for spade, like I feel about the Canadian ratio. I'll always tell it the way it is on here. And now with the 10 nationals, that's, to me, I explained last time how I feel about that. But in relation to Mr. Ambrosi, the Commissioner, let's give him credit where credit's due. And I'm going to give him a lot of credit right now with some really exciting news I'm about to announce to you. I told you some secret stuff about what was going on when Mr. Ambrosi sent an email back to me. It was very nice of him over Christmas. And anyway, I sent him a revisit, accentuate pitch presentation on my CFL Red Zone Rule to be revisited with the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee. So, and I followed up with a letter and everything, and when he was here in Halifax, I sent an email, and he sent an email back to me, and he's gonna allow it to be revisited and to the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee. That's pretty exciting. So that's the news. That's really big news, actually. So I'm really excited about it. So I'm just finishing up a presentation. I sent an email back to him that I'm going to be doing on taking my first formal presentation, my accentuate pitch presentation, and taking some off each and material, and then coming up with something new and different for the CFL Innovation Rules Committee, but putting focus on the most important key selling points, features and benefits and advantages of my role. So I almost have that done, actually. It's pretty well finalized. I got to put it into a PDF, and I'm going to do a cover letter for him as well. So we'll see where it goes, but I'm really, really excited about it. And I think it really, my CFL Red Zone rule really deserves it, okay? It deserves to be revisited. And I hope this time it's a much better outcome, okay? So we'll see what happens. Can you imagine if the Spider CFL Red Zone rule is made part of a CFL 3-down game? And just based on the 400 plus now I surveyed, and people I surveyed out of the Grey Cup and 107th Grey Cup in Calgary, and you know, there's 2 Bomber fans in the pub near I never forget what they said, near the McMahon Stadium. It was really super excited. I got my brochures, really sold on it, said, Spider, how are you going to get this out there? And that's the key. And like I told the commissioner too, in my cover letter that I'm going to be sending him, okay, along with my new presentation to be presented to the CFL, the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee. I think they're going to have that meeting in March, so I'm going to get it out there plenty of time. I'm going to get it out there this week to the commissioner in my cover letter. And I said to him, you know what, there's 2 Bomber fans said to me, the Grey Cup in Calgary, 107th Grey Cup in Calgary, you know, it's got to get out to all the CFL fans, like they said. It's got to get out to all the NFL only fans, all the younger generation sports fans in Canada. They said all the CFL players got to know about this as well. And all the GMs, coaches, and owners got to know about my CFL Red Zone rule as well. It's very important that they do. So that's my goal as well. So I'm going to be getting it to them as well. And hopefully, well, Mr. Randy Ambrosi, what he's doing, and give him credit, by the way. He was the first to allow me, took the initiative to allow me to do my formal presentation, my CFL Red Zone rule, more so than with Mr. Johnson. Okay, because this was a formal 1 hour, in 2018, formal 1 hour full presentation allowed me, and now to allow it to be revisited. So it really deserves it. I'm telling you, it really does. The overwhelming response, the people are captivated. You know, they're fascinated by my CFL Red Zone rule. It captivates them. And they're really sold on them. They all want to see, everyone I surveyed, they all want to see made part of a CFL 3-down game of football. And all of them said it will make our game a lot better, a lot more entertaining, and a lot more exciting brand of CFL 3-down, or CFL 3-down brand of football to be part of. And with a lot of excitement, I'll tell you, in the red zone, that's unbelievably full of drama. Okay. I don't know, you know, but I know for certain that that is true. And all of them said basically the same thing. They all were blown away by it, seriously. They really, really sold on it. And like a Bomber fan said at St. Mary's Huskies game, when I interviewed 2 Ottawa Rough Rider fans, and he said, can I listen in? They were blown away by it too. He said, Spider, how do you come up with it? And the Bomber younger generation fan, going to St. Mary's, wanted to hear the conversation. He was blown away and really sold on. He said that's the ideal, perfect new CFL rule. He says that's the perfect injection that our CFL game down in football needs now. My Spider CFL Red Zone rule, and I'm telling you, that's the kind of feedback I'm getting. It's unbelievable. It's overwhelming. And you know, the thing about Touchdown Atlantic, if it's, you know, because I love to see my CFL Red Zone rule launched and brought in, promoted to sell season tickets and really hype it up and really do a splash and a big, you know, launch on it, you know, for maybe they couldn't do it for the 2020 but 2021 season rather than bringing it in for an exhibition game. But that's what I think the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee is. Committee is to, you know, try out new rules, and certainly mine deserves to be on top of the list. The amount of hard work, I have 4.5 years it took me to come up with my final finished product, my CFL Red Arm Roll. I did a 3.5-year survey, okay, on why so many Canadians only watch the NFL, not the CFL in our own country. By the way, that survey is really standing up now. And, you know, I went over the feedback and the data I collected on my findings, and, you know, it's really standing up now, and more pertinent than ever before. And how I come up with my CFL Red Arm Roll. And by looking at the numbers, by the way, just looking at the numbers, the NFL numbers and the Super Bowl 54 just come out, double the numbers of the Grey Cup, the 107th Grey Cup. 9.5 in an average, reported by 3 Down Nation. Imagine. And you do a comparison to the Rafters. They had 7.7 million when they won the NBA title against Golden State in that 6th game in the NBA Finals. 7.1 million. That was up 17.7%. And the Super Bowl before, the New England Patriots and the LA Rams, it was snoozer, by the way, but it was 5.3 million on an average. That, you know, that was up 17.7. I'm sorry, that's not the Rafter one. I got it mixed up. Okay, that was the one. Okay, but anyway, it's like the numbers are staggering. They're humongous, monstrous numbers. I mean, come on. And it just shows how the NFL is surging and the popularity is surging in Canada, and the CFL is, you know, obviously declining in popularity quite considerably. And as you see, the 3 major markets, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, with all the empty seats, and attendance down throughout the whole league in the CFL, you know, down a fair amount too compared with previous years. So anyway, that's why my CFL Red Zone Rule is so important, and that's why it's now based on my survey I did and the data I collected. And by the way, on all the legitimate complaints about that I collected in my survey versus the NFL game versus a 3-down game, and these were the ones that were really legitimate and consistent. And I mean, the Canadian ratio was definitely a complaint, consistent complaint, legitimate consistent complaint as well. But in relation to our game itself versus the 4-down NFL game, it was like too much kicking, and it's legitimate. There is too much kicking, too many 2-and-outs that don't even exist in the NFL, which is accurate. It's true. Too many field goals for too many points in the CFL, which is true. Sometimes there's 6 or 8 by one CFL team. You imagine that. And magnified in the red zone, where my CFL Red Zone Rule comes in. Too many distasteful 2-down football stops in the red zone, resulting in more boring, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals. That my CFL Red Zone Rule, and why I come up with my CFL Red Zone Rule, to address those legitimate, consistent complaints, okay, about our CFL 3-down game versus a 4-down game, how I come up with my CFL Red Zone Rule, how and why I come up with it, okay, that addresses these complaints head on and fixes them, and eliminates 2 biggest turnoffs and 2 biggest killers in the red zone, okay. My CFL Red Zone Rule will eliminate completely gone. They vanish off the face of the earth. They're gone. Gone completely. Eliminated. The 2 biggest killers, 2 biggest turnoffs of our CFL 3-down game in the red zone. Completely gone with SPYDER's CFL Red Zone Rule. So let's see what happens with the revisit with the commissioner. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambrosi, for doing that, and I'll soon get what I need to you that I promise I'll have you in your hands this week. I will. They'll give you plenty of time before the meeting is, the CFL Innovation Rules Committee meeting is, and other meetings they're having with the Combine. I believe they're combined in National Combine in March. I think it's the 3rd week in March, but I will have it this week or the end of the week for you, Mr. Commissioner. Okay, so you have plenty of time to get it implemented and ready to go for your big meeting. So let's everybody, you know, let's hope Spider CFL Red Arm Wool is definitely brought into a test on an exhibition game, and then I know I will definitely be made part of a CFL 3-down game, because when everybody finds out my CFL Red Arm Wool, just like those Bomber fans says, they're all going to be sold on it. Just like every one I surveyed, like Steve Armitage, like there's 2 Ottawa Rough Rider, former Ottawa Rough Rider players, and every other sports fan, CFL fans, former CFL fans, college football, NFL only fans, CIS, AUS, former CFL players that are coaching high school football. I really had a broad spectrum of people I surveyed, and on high school football players and so forth. Canadian college football players. You know, I covered everybody. Okay, so everybody was blown away and sold to my CFL Red Arm Wool big time. And it will make minor football and high school football and college football a lot better too. Not just, and they're playing 3-down football at that level as well. So really excited about it. Really excited about it. And by the way, at Touchdown Atlantic, at St. Mary's, the Riders and the Argonauts, I will be able to bring in my my megaphone and my new banner. I'm going to have it set up because I'll be with somebody that can, maybe my son will fly in too, but if not, I'll be with a buddy. I'm going to buy 2 tickets, and I'm going to be there. Can you imagine, okay, if they don't bring it in for an exhibition game this year, maybe they try next year, or maybe they're going to launch it for 2021. Who knows? But I'll still be, imagine, trying to get everybody to be familiar with my CFL Red Arm Wool. This is the key. I got to do my radio blitz right across Canada, including Halifax. I got to really start promoting it, and that everybody knows about it. Everybody, all the people I indicated that need to know about it. And imagine at Touchdown Atlantic in Halifax, at SMU, in the red zone, when there's another boring, distasteful 2-down football stop resulting in another predictable, non-eventful, easy shoot shot field goal, and you get 10 or 15,000 people chanting at Touchdown Atlantic at St. Mary's in Halifax. We want Spider CFL Red Arm Wool. We want Spider CFL Red Arm Wool. How exciting would that be? Can you imagine? Super, super exciting. I have to also apologize for last time. The exposure was like terrible. I mean, not so much exposure yet, and the quality of the picture, and I think I'm getting the same thing here with this too much bright light on my face and everything, and I'm very fair anyway for an old guy. Retired old guy, no, early retired old guy, whatever. But so I just want to apologize for that, and I may have to get, maybe that's why I'm wearing my hat. It feels like the sun's shining on my face. Probably is from that window, but it's all available light. It's all one takes, by the way. I don't do any retakes, and it's an amateur setting. But this is not my real full set, so I'm just temporarily setting this up for this session. So I'm going to close out in about 3 minutes, but I apologize for that. That's probably one of the worst for lighting and sharpness, but I tried infinity this time on manual focus. I've been having a manual focus, and you measure up the meters, and it doesn't. I don't have a better and autofocus, but it was going in and out a lot. But it's only 4:30. That's the problem. I got to get a better camera, but the problem is I love the remote. Okay, but I have to learn how to edit, which should be that hard. But can you imagine the news? Spider CFL Red Arm Wool being revisited by the commissioner and being presented to the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee in March 2020. Not far, next month. So that's the fantastic news. And by the way, I guess they're going to have some new Touchdown Atlantic hats. These are the older ones that was at St. Mary's Toronto Argonauts and Halifax Tiger Cats. I kept them. I bought a whole bunch of them, actually. I gave some away, too. Anyway, listen, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much. We're all up to, like, I think 44, 45 now, I think, my YouTube sessions. And I'm going to be posting more on my Facebook page with my new upgraded brochure on the back, where I'm going to put Spider CFL Red Arm Wool in a nutshell. and maybe talk about what's happening here a little bit. I don't know if we can squeeze it in on the revisit of my SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule to the new CFL Innovation Rules Committee. Thank you, Mr. Ambrosi. I can't thank you enough. And anyway, so going to try to put some more things up on my Facebook page coming, in the next month or this month, okay? My son's quite busy, but we'll be able to probably work on it and get something happening. So I'm soon going to be signing out. Again, I just want to thank you so much for all the support and being behind my CFL Red Zone rule and watching my YouTube sessions. And I hope you look at my CFL Red Zone rule page as well on your SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule Facebook page. And check SPYDER out on my YouTube channel on YouTube, okay? So take care. Have a good rest of the winter. Enjoy it. And we're getting 2 minutes more per day for like another hour and a half by the end of the month. Imagine. That's going to be super. Soon it'll be spring. And soon I'll be talking CFL football and training camp. And I'll have some probably some news to share with you too on my CFL Red Zone rule. So I'll be back then, and this time I'm signing off until the spring. So take care, have yourself a good winter, and thanks again for watching. Your friend SPYDER. Here comes SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule. Take care. Peace, SPYDER.